Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. I wanted to show you what point I got to into last Epoch. This is still before the multiplayer patch releases in, I believe, March. And I've been forcing myself to farm Feet of the Mountain. They usually drop from tier 2 onwards of Lightless Arbor. But this time I wanted to show you how I do tier 4 dungeons on my Paladin hammer throw smiter as soon as it wants to work. I'm playing on GeForce now, so if you get choppy video, it's not on my end, it's on their end. I have smooth 60 something FPS every time. I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. So first of all, this is my skill set. Hammer throw, reversal, volatile reversal for the massive damage impact. This is my Holy Aura, my sigils, which are spec'd almost 100% into defensive mode, and Smite, which is the main nuke ability. As you can see, they're all level 20. You can do this with level 20s. Getting like +2 or +3 to hammer throw or smite can be beneficial, but it's very, very costly. I'm also using Stormcarved Testament most of the runs. I'm going to try this time to really put a build link in the description. I just wanted to see for you guys to see exactly how we do this. So we're going to go for tier 4. I'm speed farming, which basically means I want to get there as fast as humanly possible. And for that, there's only one thing we can use, which is Shield Rush. Shield Rush is so obscenely offensive. You can see I can even squeeze through doors like that. And it has some interesting interactions where you can slide through unopened doors in, for example, in Temporal Sanctum. I hope they don't fix it as a bug because I think it's very, very cool that some classes would be able to do that. If rogues could also just like shift through it, I think it would be thematically appropriate. Just like assassins in Diablo 2 did not need keys to open locked chests. I think it was a little nice touch. All right, so basically the strategy is the same. We're rushing towards the edge of a room as fast as possible. Sometimes you're going to do this in 2 shield charges and nothing else. Sometimes it's going to take a bit longer until you find the edge. And then we just go around until we find exactly where the thing is. Since I'm speed running, I don't really care about drops. I'm not trying to maximize profit per key. At about 700 corruption, keys drop everywhere. So we find the door, we just go on. I don't care about the modifiers. I've done this with the hardest possible things. We're talking like 480% increased damage, I believe. So in other words, I know I can survive and I'll show you how to as well. Advantages of this build, one of the things is you don't have to put smite on your bar. It's still going to use your spect smite, which means we have an extra spot for a not skilled ability. In this case, I'm using Shield Rush because I also use the most defensive options available to me. There we go, see? You just slide through and it continues on the other side. I love this ability so much. All right, and now we're just looking for corners as usual. And whatever happens, we're going to go through the next door. I'm not looking for modifiers. If you really want to speed run and get like 3-4 LP on a certain dungeon boss, I don't think you can afford to be too picky about the drops. Sure, you know, if you get an exalted item, see what it is, hover over it and stuff like that, absolutely. But going any deeper than that is going to delay you by a couple of times. It's a multiplicative factor if you stop. Another reason why I wanted to show you this is because a lot of us have trouble with tier 4 dungeons. And we don't need to. There's some very simple tricks that you can use, especially as a paladin, to become absolutely ridiculously powerful versus their attacks. Death, Dark, Impaler, Stun Chance. Wow, that's pretty good. Dots are still a problem, as you can notice. I have 3,800 HP, and just the poison pool got me to half HP. 2 unique items. Let's go. This is good. I like this. The first fight is about physical damage, which means armor is good, dodge is 50-50. If you get hit, you die. Especially on rogue characters, it's almost impossible to build tanky enough without super expensive gear. What I do when I get here is two things. One, I change my shield rush to rebuke. Even unspect rebuke still reduces incoming damage by 80%. If you're a paladin and you don't slot this in for boss fights that are difficult, you're not doing it correctly. Spec this in. And as soon as you press it, for quite literally 3 point something 4 seconds, you will be nigh unkillable. Combined with my Bastion of Honor and my Ravenous Void, it's really, really hard to kill this character, but completely possible. Remember, it scales indefinitely in terms of corruption and monolith, so you can find ways to kill yourself like this. The second thing you need, this is going to be very easy, is a Grimoire of Necrotic Elixirs, because when you press it, for the duration of your potion, and you're going to see an indicator there, you're going to get from 30 to 40% less void, necrotic, and poison damage. We don't need it for the first phase of the fight, for the first boss, but we will use it for Heart of the Mountain, which does tremendous poison damage. Once you pop this, again, you become nigh unkillable. So strategy is very simple. Keep all my gear up, but spec into rebuke, armor myself up nice and fat with all my sigils, and you just walk. Walk to this. And now we wait. And as soon as we get a stone thrown at us, like this, boom, we just rebuke. We wait for the kindling to finish, get our, what's it called actually? Ember back, and we go to the other side. There we go. We put this, we position ourselves, and then we wait to press rebuke again, like in this situation. Oh no, my Ravenous Void popped. This was a bit clumsy of me, to be honest with you. And I also used one pot. But even so, using one pot is fine. As long as you have like 2 left over for the Heart of the Mountain fight, you can still do it with much less gear than I did. I just got really comfortable because getting killed here is really complicated. I got a full rock to the face. It procced my Ravenous Voids. Now we can just wait. See? My Void Barriers are coming back up. These give me 5% less damage taken for each thing. Now the other thing that I do is I switch out my damage option, which is Stormcarver's Testament, with a Grimoire of Necrotic Elixirs. Since a part of the damage that the mob does, the Heart of the Mountain does, is also direct poison damage, I'm assuming it's going to work versus hits, but there's also a big dot component. So that's why I'm keeping Grimoire and keeping Rebuke. Now we just spin to win. So we have them up, we walk in, and I just have to wait for 1.5 seconds before I can do this. Alright, I wanted to show you what kind of damage it does if I have absolutely nothing up. And now we wait again. We rebuke this one. And we rebuke this one too. And we rebuke this one too. And it's over. It's dead. Helmet 1 LP, I don't care. Grimoire, whatever roll you get is pretty good. And a shield. No boots. Technically, I think it's a lot better to use this on on tier 2 or tier 3, because you also want to eliminate the tier 4 drops. If you do it on tier 2, there's 2 possible drops, and one of them have to be the boots. If you roll to drop the loot table for tier 2, it's going to be boots. This is how I trivialized endgame. Remember, Grimoire of Necrotic Elixirs works against poison for Heart of the Mountain. It works against Void for Julra. You can also slot this in if your class isn't that dependent on the relic slot. And of course, it also works on Necrotic for that good old Soulfire Bastion, so you can trivialize the endgame boss fight. And if you're a Paladin, or if you're a Sentinel of any kind, and you can allow yourself a slot in Rebuke. 80% less damage taken for 3.5 seconds is amazing, and you can do it much better than I did this in this practice run. Haven't played in a week or two, so I'm kind of rusty. But this is how you can trivialize and rush endgame bosses really, really quickly. I hope you like the demo. Keep farming, guys. You can trivialize endgame by the time multiplayer comes out. And then we'll see. Maybe I'll make some support build videos for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll keep farming until I get something good. Good luck to you guys.